Hi, I'm Spike Robinson here with my co-host Monia as ever, and we are doing today My Little Pony, episode 1 and 2 of season 5, the Cutie Maps, part 1 and 2. Now, I never watched My Little Pony. Oh,
we have to specify though. It's My Little Pony,
Friendship is Magic. Yes.
Because there's a lot of different versions out there.
I went to some My Little Pony wiki and I couldn't even find what I was looking for because it was like generation 1, generation 2, generation 3.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay, this was a bit okay.
Did you ever watch this show when growing up? I mean, you were the right age. I wasn't.
I don't remember watching it, but I had the toys. Like I had ponies.
Oh, you had the toys.
I don't remember the show, but I had the ponies, and I also I felt like it was unfortunate that I don't remember which ones they were.
With so many cartoons of that time, the toy line started first, and then the cartoon was made to support the toy lines. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it was because they were marketing these toys. I mean, yes, there was the comic book first, but I just watched a documentary on that. But I never saw these, and this is the only episode I've ever seen, and I must say I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I had no idea that the writing was this clever. The animation is very simplified, but it's clean and it's elegant. The ponies, although they only represent one thing, so are they one-trick ponies? I had to make that joke, just got it out of the way there. But they have the main, MANE 6, have very deep personalities, it seems. They're complex and three-dimensional characters, even though the animation's two-dimensional. So do you want to give us your digestion of the Wikipedia?
A very shortened summary of these two episodes, because it's part 1 and 2. The main 6, they managed to activate a map using their marks, and it takes them to Equestria, and they find out that there's a little community there, and they're all so very happy and equal and friends and equal.
Just to break in, Equestria is the whole country.
Oh yeah, so they're traveling up.
But the map, the marks go and point out a little part. Sorry,
true, because no, you're entirely right, because
we didn't want any bronies adding us. Okay,
specify multiple times that it's like this is east, and then she was saying I haven't researched that much about what's going on in the east side. And I'm like, okay, analytical.
They made a very cute joke where we're at the end of Equestria. It's like, if we were at the end of Equestria, we'd be sitting on an A. Get it, A? Yeah.
Oh dear.
There's going to be a lot of that in this. Any case, please go on.
They just, they come to this town. It's a Starlight
Glimmer
is the equal, but also the leader. But the leader. The leader welcomes them, and it turns out that things aren't maybe as nice as they seem over there.
They're all big smiles.
Yeah, they're smiling very big, and they are very nice when they come over. Although I feel like there was kind of the hint of a threat already from the beginning. He's like, no one who comes here ever leaves.
Yeah, no, but we know that you'll feel the same way.
Yeah, that I'm already like, okay, this is a bit. You're going that hard already, but okay, all right.
Yeah, they're basically, it's very visible, and they've got all the same equal mark as their cutie marks.
Yeah, because they play on the idea of, I did wish that they would have touched upon that equality doesn't mean the same, but they do.
Yeah.
Like that is a version of how they're co-opting.
That's a language. That's a straw man right there, where they're saying, because a lot of people who go, oh, you guys just want all to be equal. You want us all to not be the same. It's like, no, we mean equal opportunity, not everybody has to be exactly the same. Only only these people would do it. Yeah. Where everybody has to be the same.
Yeah. and it doesn't really
okay, I have got the life is so grand in our town. We're always filled with cheer. That's not the real melody. The real melody, I will say, is very well constructed with dissonances at unexpected times and dissonant intervals in the melody that create a subtle sense of unease.
I did note on the MLP Wikipedia specifically, not the Wikipedia with that. I believe this episode and the second one won
a Grammy
Hugo award. No, not a Grammy, but some sort of award.
Not a Grammy, did it?
Form. No, not a Grammy. Not a Grammy.
I would have not been surprised to hear that though, because I do have I have a master's degree in music composition. So and also my undergrad is in theory. So I could bore you to tears with the mathematical reasons why this melody is so brilliant and how it has been crafted to deliberately create a sense of unease and unstableness. But I'm not going to do that.
I mean, the layperson's understanding here was simply that I kept thinking like, I mean, it's a good song. And I kept thinking like, what a great way to show the way that they keep, it's a mantra for them, right? And the song is telling them exactly what they need to know about what
I've got the lyrics here, and they
go through it, and
they're worth repeating because I've got them right here on the screen. You're right, they are so worth it. We never have to look around to know that we're all here. Let's see. We don't have to wait to find out that our destiny is just to emulate. Our cutie mark's the same because we do not separate ourselves by more than name. Oh, and then also before when she's gathering everybody, she goes, "No pony left behind," which is something that we won't even get into that. We dare not compete. Winning only breeds the worst ego-filled conceit. Now every pony wins because that's another one of those straw man rumbles that people do is, oh, now everybody deserves a trophy. And it's like, yeah, there are people that take it to that extreme, but let's see. We're all equal here. No one is superior and no one shakes in fear. In fact, they are all shaking. Some of them later on are shaking in fear. We work as a team. You can't have a nightmare if you never dream.
That one, I was like, ooh, someone just dropped the mic right there.
Yep. They should have put that down in the last verse. As far as I'm concerned, that's rule number one of songwriting. You
closer,
work your down to the strength. When you think your talent's special, you don't see eye to eye. There's just too many differences that lead to disarray. But when you learn to act as one, it's like a holiday. And also, I want to say again, another craft thing is when it's da 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 da. It does create a certain sense of being repetitious, and repetition does lead to some form of altered states because you go on and on and on. You see what I mean? Okay, we don't complicate. When you learn to simplify, life is oh so great. Join in our utopia. Come out of the dark, banded by the equality of our cutie mark. This is genius. This is good writing. Sorry. Okay, so they meet with this beautiful song and everybody, and then
they get there. And now we know like it's a bit sketchy. So what goes on? They're watched. They're watched. They feel observed. And they're served some inadequate muffins of some sort because even the baker is only as good at baking as everyone else in the town, which is
I'm no better than any pony else.
Yeah. Which apparently is not that great.
And the only clothes to be worn are these horrible rough cloaks.
Yeah, and they find out, you know, there's something going on. They gotta learn more, and they go into like the basement of the bake shop because they're like, come and meet me. And there's a few other ponies there. They're there to ask them questions, and they're so confused. Like, how can you be friends? And your marks are different, and you have different opinions. And I thought there was one moment that was really great earlier on when
they're bickering at the cafe.
Yes, and they're saying, "Is your friendship over now?"
Yeah, they're starting to bicker, and they say something, and then they do a shot of the shocked villagers who are holding their hooves over their kids' eyes and ears so that the kids won't see the friends having a disagreement.
I mean, this is just giving me flashbacks to that one Star Trek episode. That we might get to that at some point.
Which Star Trek episode again?
This is the one with the thoughts, the contagious thoughts.
Oh, yes. Milana and her it's called Random Thoughts.
Because it's also the like, but we're all so.
Oh, you can't do that. You can't. Well, it's also very much like Stepford Wives.
Yes. I thought of Stepford Wives as well.
Have big emotions. You can't. Or what's that wonderful movie that everybody says is like a budget Fahrenheit 451 with martial arts fighting?
Oh, what's that?
I'll put it on the screen and I'll let you know when I remember it. It's really, really great. And it's got martial arts fighting and a society where you're drugged into being flat, and all the works of art and all the books are getting torched. They torched the Mona Lisa in this one. So it's basically a budget 451 and VHX 11 meets VHX 11 or whatever the George Lucas one is. And also there's some great, because of who the star is, who I also can't remember, not Keanu Reeves, does some really great martial arts stuff in it. But you have to be all the same. You have to be the same. So yeah. And then they say, well, let's go and see that cutie vault.
Yeah, because at first they're horrified, right? That it's like, oh, you don't have your cutie marks anymore. How could you, like, don't you miss them?
But then there's that one who's like, oh, it's so good, it's so wonderful. I wish I could have mine, but
But they also fight back because they say, no, it's not held from us. We can go visit them whenever you want.
Yeah, what's stopping you? Go get your cutie marks back. I don't know, that seems extreme. Starlight wants us to be happy in our sameness. Yeah, and then there's the one with the heartache of a life with special talents.
Yes, I believe that this villain does return in later episodes.
Oh, she does? She was so well done that she had to. Okay.
Yes, apparently she returns. So I don't know, we are just talking without knowing ultimately what the fate of her
is. This is the one time we're going to deconstruct a show that we're not going to go into multiple different episodes of the same show. Our guarantee.
I was going to say, you should be careful what you say because people might end
up. Well, I haven't seen any other ones. So, I mean, in this episode, this time we're not going
this time, that's all
we're not going to refer to other episodes because we can't, because we don't know them.
Yeah, there were some things that I was like, just because they kept talking about her being a princess and all that stuff, and I'm like,
yeah, I've got the episode marked where she became a princess and got her wings and her magical powers.
Wow.
These little wings that could barely. I was also interested to see that a winged unicorn is called an alicorn. They actually had their own, but they still call winged ponies Pegasuses. And I'm sorry, but that's like looking at a regular horse and calling it a secretariat.
What would be
We're looking at a dog and calling it a lassie, or looking at a cat and calling it a Mora.
Daddy, chill. Little pony world, there's no such thing as horses. Everyone is a pony. They're all the same.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Except for their cutie marks, which is their one special talent. Sorry.
I was calling it a story.
Represents an essential part of who we are. And I like when they say anybody, they say any pony. But getting back to, okay, so Starlight Glimmer agrees to show them the cave and the Staff of Sameness.
looked very threatening to me.
Yeah. And then she takes off their cutie marks, and notice they go gray. And then she locks them in, and they have to listen to Orwellian thought control programming.
Flipping through the book with just the equal marks, like, oh, this is pretty good.
And notice at this point, whenever, which one is it? Pinkie Pie gets exuberant.
Yeah.
So the cutie mark, the equal mark glows, and she's, oh, whatever. And Applejack, I can't even do a decent countryism no more.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing. Yeah,
I know nothing of this show, but I love that character.
Yeah, and later they come back. The countryisms come back. So.
Oh yeah. And then whichever one, oh, kindness, and I noticed she seems to represent the politeness that we all have, that so many predators use. To go, oh, come on, you can't be rude. And rudeness means standing up to whatever the predator's trying to do to you. Yeah. You're being rude. Yeah, I've seen that a lot of times. So she represents, kindness, but also politeness as the rules of politeness, because she's the one who goes, oh, come on. And she likes it because everybody's friendly. In fact, she says, they've been so welcoming and friendly, aside from locking us up in here and trying to brainwash us into abandoning the things that make us special.
Yeah, but they have a roof over their head, So.
Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how'd you like the play?
Listen, I think maybe that's a sign of being an adult, is like one of the first things I thought of when they got there. And it was said that no one ever leaves. And I'm like, this is a very bold thing to say to newcomers when there's like no house for them.
Yeah. The thing
so
is,
you're going to be here, and you're probably going to be here forever, but also like, just go lay on the street. Like, I don't know. We don't really have.
They'd probably have quarters assigned to them, but yeah, it is
it was the inner city jail.
For all the good writing is an oversimplification, but what the heck? I mean, what is their age group? Are we looking at 8 to 10-year-olds here, or
I think it's
what is their stated audience? Not the 35-year-old bronies, but they're.
I think it's younger than that, but I'm also not very good at estimating.
But so it is oversimplified, because if you went into a cult and had the love bombing, you might notice that it's a little heavy-handed, but it would not be everybody with the Bob smile, as we call it.
Yeah, I mean, what was there? I saw a comment that I thought was really funny, and that feels very appropriate to that. If I can just like in general about this being very culty, but you might not really notice it.
Yeah, it's not a real bona fide abusive group would not be this obvious, but they've got to simplify. Like we said, for another one, they got to simplify for a shorter window. Yeah, sure. If you're going to fit this all into 44 minutes,
which is pretty long for a kids show, actually.
You want to hear some of the Orwellian phrases then that I wrote them down.
Of course.
The Orwellian, so they're locked in this house, and they've had their cutie marks removed and their equal signs put on, and they're all grayed out. And when they try to be more themselves, like whenever Pinkie Pie gets exuberant, the thing glows and, oh, I guess not. Any case, so in sameness, there is peace. Exceptionalism is a lie. Choose equality for your special talent. Difference is frustration. To excel is to fail.
That's a good one.
This is Orwellian level doublethink here. Be your best by never being your best. Conformity will set you free. Accept your limitations and happiness will follow. You're no better than your friends.
But it's not even accept your limitations. It's put limitations upon yourself and others.
Yeah.
Because accept your limitations, but this isn't.
I'm never going to be an airline pilot. As soon as I learn that, I'll be a lot happier than if I'm always looking.
Yeah, but You could put on a hat of a pilot and maybe you could rent in a simulator or something. I feel like that's a thing. There you go. You could have a semblance. You could have a semblance of it.
It was an
It's nice. Oh,
Indie Hoodle.
Yeah, I
So
like.
Then
So
Fluttershy is the obvious shill to go and pretend. They decide they need somebody to pretend to go accept the word so that they can get a hoof out the door, as it were.
A Trojan pony, if you will.
There you go. Well, this is why we love you. Any case, Fluttershy is chosen because she's the one who's been the kindest to everybody, because they're using kindness as a manipulation tool. So, whereas Pinkie Pie, who represents laughter, is the immediately suspicious because she understands that the smiles aren't real. Oh, and by the way, her real name is Pinkamena Diane Pie.
All right, I would have preferred just Pinkie Pie. But
yeah. Well, I looked up all of these. I was also, so I looked up and saw what they were based on. Apparently, Rarity, which is the fashionista one, who looks at the drapes and says, I can't even tell if they're tacky anymore, because she's had her fashion sense taken away.
Yep.
Yeah, she was based on Scarlett O'Hara.
Oh, interesting.
Or modeled loosely on Scarlett O'Hara.
Yeah. I mean, that feels quite old for...
This is surprising, some of the things that they reference. It is really, I might have to start watching My Little Pony.
Oh dear, a brony is born.
Like a vault. Any case.
It's standard cult tactics.
Oh yeah.
From then on, right?
There's isolation, there's repetition.
Ratting out, telling it who are the people who are unhappy with.
Oh, and then just as you called, I had just gotten to the scene where they drag out the ponies that had betrayed where the cutie vault was. Yeah. Because when they get them in the basement,
you could just go visit them anytime.
Yeah.
Why is that a problem?
Yeah. Well, they drag them down. Yeah. They go in the basement saying, please tell us more about your life. And they're asking the forbidden questions. So which one of them was sneaking around and asking questions and betraying all our friendship by wanting to be different? And so there's a little purge right there. There's a little purge right there where he's locked away. But I didn't mean to betray all of you. I love you, slam.
Yeah. This is the things where it's like, yes, we must enforce the rules very strictly, because like, oh, I didn't mean to. It's like, that doesn't matter. We have to be very clear about this. And you endangered the sameness of our group. And
blaming somebody for trying just to stick up a little bit. Nope, got to be mowed down. So they decide they have to do a little thing where they go in to spy on her to find out what she wants. And Starlight Grimace, her, because villain needs to monologue.
Yes, of course.
Need to say what their secret plan is. You ever read Nancy Drew as a girl?
I only read the crossovers with the Hardy Boys.
Fair enough. But that in every book, there was that one place where Nancy would be kidnapped by the villain, and the villain would say, and it happened in Batman and happened in everything, they would monologue on their secret plan and then leave her to escape.
Yeah, what the monologuing reminded me of was a Scooby-Doo, actually, especially towards the end. It was like, if I hadn't been.
And she is, now here's the thing. Why does Scientology groom Tom Cruise and Jenna Elfman and all of the other celebrity Scientologists? Because when the rest of Equestria sees that a princess gave up her cutie mark to join us, they'll finally understand what we're trying to accomplish.
But what is she trying to accomplish, really, though?
Yeah, well, Scientology can't be all that bad. Tom Cruise is in, and look at him. He's the most famous human being on the planet.
It felt very Sea Orgy as well, when they were just like incredibly, when they kept repeating that, right? Like, we just all have to work together. It did make me think of that, even though I don't actually have any.
So she's deliberately going after a princess, because apparently when you're a princess, you have the horn that actually can work magic. I don't know if any of the other ponies can do that. Can they?
Well, I don't think so.
No, it was just them. Okay.
Which must mean there's a lot of strife in there. Difference is...
Yeah, because one pony has powers that other ponies don't. But now, so they go and they spy on Starlight Glimmer and find out, oh, she's got her own beauty mark, her cutie mark. She does not have the equal sign.
Yeah, it's a spray painted on, or fake tattooed. It's like a little
fake tattoo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, someone did say, how did no one notice that she was still colorful? All the others.
Yeah, well, the others
had gone more like.
Well, she's the leader. She's now. So they find out and they decide to throw a bucket of water at her in front of everybody. It misses, but not enough that they notice something's wrong. And the ski dude pony in town, I forget what his name is, Double Diamond.
Diamond. Diamond. Sure.
There's
a lot of names.
Yeah, there's a lot of ponies, and they're all in Wikipedia articles about them. My God.
Yeah, of course.
We can't get everybody believing that the world isn't flat, but we got Wikipedia articles on every single My Little Pony. I mean, never mind.
Yeah, but you also don't know how much fighting is going on in those editing sections. Like, we don't.
Oh, that's
know.
true.
It
There's
could be
probably,
like,
it's like, oh my God. To quote William Shatner, get a life. No.
I have done one Wikipedia edit in my life, and that's just because I kept going crazy when I would go to page and they would credit someone as a songwriter for something that they weren't. And I'm just like, why do you keep saying they wrote on this song? It is not in the album. It is not anywhere else. It's just you guys have somehow convinced yourselves that this person wrote on the song. They didn't.
Well, they had
like, calm down, go and just take your
and
I'm sure
just
it's back.
Contribute to the knowledge base of humanity. So Ski Dude Pony gets a rag and wipes off her haunches, and there's her cutie mark. Now, here's the thing. This is where it doesn't happen like it would normally happen because of cognitive dissonance.
Yes, I thought about that as well.
Yeah.
Like, yes, this is definitely overly simplified.
Because this would not happen. She would be able to go, I'm the leader, and she'd be able to manipulate them somehow that she was doing this for them. And they might not even still believe her because just the actual evidence of her cutie mark in front of her would make them believe in her more. Just like when the spaceship didn't come, the people believed even more in the aliens because we saved ourselves from the spaceship landing.
Yeah. Listen, I have the logic right here.
Oh, okay.
This is how it would go. She wouldn't even have to say anything, or like she could, but listen, I was hiding this from you because this mark grew back. So clearly there's something that means that, she's special. So she was hiding it because she didn't know what to do about it. But now they know she is really, the special sameness, the sameness.
I would say, just to alter that, that's brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Just to add on it,
there's many
she
versions.
would not say, I didn't know what to do.
Oh, no,
I was hiding it because you wouldn't be able to handle it. Because the blame is always on the believer.
Yes.
Because you wouldn't be able to handle it. But this is because I do this for you.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm taking on the misery of the heartache of a life of spent.
Everything that you have given up is, coming to me. And that's, yes. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Bingo. Well, give the lady a cigar and the Cupid doll of her choice.
Yeah. You know what? That is entirely right. But yeah, that's not what happens. They're just like,
how dare you?
What?
And then from there, it just turns into a chase scene.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and we really don't need to go into any more of that because that is, I mean, I don't know.
You know, things work out, but it's not really
it's no longer, the cult thing is dissolved, though they did. I can't believe that I believed in her, you know.
I mean, how many of us have not said that?
I
mean, I repeat that like almost every day about random things.
About a month and a half from now, I'm going, our friend Rachel Bernstein is going to be putting up the show where she interviewed me about my own cult experience. And I hadn't talked about it in over 25 years.
Wow.
And just going through it, I felt like nobody's even going to understand this. Nobody's ever going to believe that I believe this. Or if they do think that I believed it, they're going to think I was a total idiot for believing the stuff that I believed. I mean, I believed that I was the queen of Atlantis, that I was working for the great cataclysm that was going to happen, and that my leader was the reincarnation of Judas, and also who's the lead singer of Nine Inch Nails? Trent Reznor. Yeah, he was Trent Reznor too. He was split. Trent Reznor had a bit of the spirit and he had the rest of it.
That is such a interesting choice. But
because guess what? There were only 144 real people around. And either your soul had split into various different bodies or those were constructs. But it was crazy. It was stupid. It was a wild, stupid ride. And yeah, there were times I was going, I can't really be believing this, can I? But the fear, the cognitive dissonance, and just the lack of sleep, the terror kept me going.
Yes, well, I mean, it is all the same. I mean, I was reading because I'm trying to work on some shorter things right now for someone's newsletter. So I was looking over my stuff, and there's the way that Michael Jackson's superfans had been described, and so this book that was talking about it was around the time of the trials, and it's all these fans that went because they're like, we want to show our support, like we know you're innocent, Michael, we're here for you, and just the descriptions are just like, despite the fact that they see the change, they're like, but it's not changing. This is the kid that was in Jackson 5. And they're like, they believe it so strongly. And the more people think they're fools, the more they're like, you think I'm a fool, but I know. And that's all I need, right? They're just like, we're so faithful. Like they know those words, right? Yeah. That's how we all thought.
Yep.
Oh, you're making fun of us, but you don't get it.
Yeah. You know, the other thing is that there's such a black and white thing with all of our celebrities. I saw something where Hitler can't have been bad because he was a vegetarian. He's the first to have done animal rights legislation. True. He did. Those things he did were actually good. But he also had all this bad stuff that he did. Or George Orwell was a brilliant writer, but he turned friends of his in whatever the British anti-communist.
So he did his own version of.
He basically named names towards the end of his life.
That is, you know, that's not even surprising.
Does that negate any of the brilliant work? Wagner was a Nazi. I mean, a proto-Nazi, because Nazism wasn't really around yet. But does that negate his work? Beethoven was a jerk. You know, I'm sorry, he is my favorite composer ever. There are people who now are trying to cancel Harry Potter because they disagree with, I disagree with what she said about some of the trans things. But I also can see where some of it might be more complex than other people think. But I'm not going to stop loving Harry Potter just because I don't philosophically agree with every damn thing the author of the series said. or we can enjoy Michael Jackson's brilliant music, his gorgeous dancing, his wonderful voice, and still go, yeah, he was creepy and did bad touch. Schubert was,
I mean, I
I can name you artists and writers and philosophers even who just or they might have been really horrible people, but he was good to his mother. Nobody is all 100% evil and nobody is 100% good.
Yeah.
It's where you stand in the middle. I mean, yes, Hitler did some actual good things, and it's a horrible thing to say, but the majority of what he did was genocide.
I mean, the thing is, you are speaking sense, but we are currently in a world where even someone who is not as bad as Hitler does not get to, there's like.
Well, this goes to the whole tone of this episode.
It's like, oh my God, you agreed with Ben Shapiro, and it's like, well, he said the sky was blue. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm not going to disagree just because I don't.
And you can,
if it's a real thing. I mean, okay. And then tomorrow he'll say something awful and I'll be like, that's awful.
Yeah, you can disagree and agree. And that's the whole theme of this episode too.
I think that is one of the things that humans in general do have to learn, is that we can agree. I mean, just in general, thoughts are just so endless that
we don't have
you'll have common thoughts with people you don't like. And maybe that's why that whole concept of
black and white
crackers came from, where you're like, you get so angry that someone is doing something that you see as yours because you hate them, that you get even angrier, and then you're just
but it's all black and white thinking. We must agree about everything or we're not friends.
Yeah.
Is your friendship ending because you're having a disagreement? When really they were just doing a little bit they were working out a problem by taking opposing viewpoints.
Yeah. I mean, that in itself actually just reminded me when I went to England with one of my friends, and we were couch surfing, and we went to London and Brighton and Oxford, like a bunch of different places. And when we were in Brighton, we were sort of split on what to do because we were only there for like a day or two. And she wanted to go see the cliffs that I don't remember what they're called, but they're very nice. But yeah, I just know she really wanted to go see that. And then I was like, oh, buddy, it's like a 4-hour bus ride. And I'm like, okay, so basically the whole day is wasted. So I wanted to stay in the city. And our couch surfing host was just like, oh no, are you guys gonna fight now? Oh my god, what are you gonna do then? What is gonna happen? And we're just like, what? I mean, I guess she'll go, and else like, there's not really a big deal. Like,
party's splitting up for a day.
Strange about this. Like, he was having like a full on like, oh my god, they're gonna start fighting. Oh my god, there's gonna be a war, and it's just like, I mean, she can go, and then and she'll show me the photos, and I'll tell her what I saw. Like, it's not like, we're fine. It's not.
Yeah, the party can split up, and then you get twice the fun because then you can compare notes afterwards.
There was great photos, and I didn't have to be on a bus for 4 hours. It's great.
Yeah. I probably would have stayed home too, or done a little bit of antique shopping.
They have Brighton has a little Taj Mahal in Brighton that a rich person was just like, I just want to build one of those. It's just like, so you go in, it's like a little museum. It looks very cool. Yeah, but it is truly, you're just like, oh, that's just right here.
I would have gone. That's what I would have gone. Yep. Yeah, but the idea that you cannot disagree as friends, that you can't go different places. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, but my husband just got back from a weekend he did on his own because he went to kirtan camp, and I'm not into kirtan. I like the tunes when I hear them sung, but it's not my thing. So he went by himself, and it was hot and everything, but and the ground was hard, but he enjoyed the music, and he got to see somebody that he wanted to see for a long time. Yeah. And I got the house to myself for a weekend.
Yeah.
And I missed him. The birds missed him, but we don't need to all see the same things and do all the same stuff,
No, have to. No. We don't need to eat the same bad muffins that everyone.
Or wear the same cloaks. Notice there was only one offering in town.
Yeah.
At each shop, there was only one offering. There was the identical cloaks, the identical muffins. Yeah, we're friends. A simple disagreement wouldn't change that. But different talents lead to different opinions, which lead to bitterness and misery. That's
I know, it was like, wow, that's a real pipeline you just gave us there. Well, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
That's a real slippery slope argument. That's like really laying it all out.
That's a false analogy, I guess, would be it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just in general leading, like, it's like, oh, well, if I have a donut today, then I'm gonna actually have 5 donuts, and then tomorrow I'll have 10 donuts, and then suddenly I'll die because my stomach is so full of donuts.
Yeah,
it's gonna explode.
Exactly.
And it's just like,
it's like,
oh, so you can't have one. Okay, yeah, all right. And it's just like, well,
and here this is something done for kids, and yet there is a fair amount of complexity. It has a damn good message, though.
I love your optimism, and I want to kind of not shut it down for myself. But there was a comment from someone who calls himself Emperor Toothless, and this comment was pretty great, I thought. But this person does start with, no offense to anyone who likes this episode, but this is one of the worst episodes of the entire series. Despite receiving a positive score on IMDb, I hate it. It's in my top 5 worst episodes ever. It's worse than Ghost Host from SpongeBob. It's worse than Conspiracy from Star Trek: The Next Generation. And it's even worse than A Short Drink from a Certain Fountain from The Twilight Zone, because those episodes are awful. This episode feels like it was made by George Lucas or Sharon Miller themselves. George Lucas is being thrown to the wolves here.
You see, the thing is that I like the lesson that it teaches, and I was directed to it because I went into TV tropes and just looked for, no offense, but I'm going to crush everything you love. Well, no, but they have the right to say that they don't like this, and we can still even be friends. Call out to my bud Chris Shelton. Check out his channel. He's got great stuff. If you want to check out more about cults and Scientology, he's a real great fellow, and he's got a great channel. But he doesn't like pineapple on pizza. In fact, he's quite adamant that pineapple on pizza is bad. And well, I love pineapple on pizza, Chris. Sorry. We can't be friends now, Chris, because I like pineapple on pizza. How ridiculous is that?
I feel like if this was Starlight's world, she'd be like, well, you can't like pizza, because then what's going to happen is you're going to become so enraged that you throw pineapples at his house, and then he's going to get hit in the head, and
Of course, we're going to have 2 separate pizzas. Because he says, no, you can't have everyone, though. Half of it because the pineapple juice gets on the other side. And I agree with anchovies. You have to have a whole separate pizza because they're too strong. And I like anchovies too. At me.
No unpopular opinions for me today.
Oh, no unpopular opinions here. No, I love anchovy pizza. I have to be in the mood for it. But with a nice tall glass of lemonade. Make that a picture.
Yeah, I mean, lemonade is delicious.
Yeah, anchovy pizza is, if done correctly, with enough marinara and a pitcher of lemonade, it can be good. But I even like mango on pizza. Hell.
Oh, I love mango. I don't know about that.
Try it on pizza. It has to be ripe enough.
I can see that. I mean, a mango sticky rice was surprisingly delicious when I had it.
Our local sushi joint has a mango roll that is to die for.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I did not expect to be like, wow, this is actually so good, but it was. Wow, okay, yeah, I'm into this.
But some people don't like mango. Some people, but it's not even. I can be friends with somebody who doesn't agree with me politically.
That's a very dangerous thing to say in this climate.
Or I can look at a political figure and not like this thing that he did, but like this thing that he did. And I don't care about Democrat or Republican, because I can think of Republicans that I have loved. Our own governor is he's a good egg. And yet I would say that, yeah, a lot of the time I would disagree with him on this, this, and this, and I would agree with him on this, that, and this.
Yeah.
I have yet to vote a straight ticket. Even in the 2020 election, I did not vote a straight ticket. Because I look at the candidate and the individual issues. I will not look at the party, because the two-party system, in my opinion, has led on both sides to this polarization, this idea that lefties are all socialists, and if you believe in this, you have to believe in this, 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 and this, and everybody who's on a Republican is evil. And that if you believe in this, I actually believe in stuff that is totally, I'm a mishmash. And also I don't believe in all or nothing.
Yeah. Well, once it goes into all or nothing, it becomes very dangerous, because people are people and you don't know what the next thing is going to be, right?
And also one size fits all.
Yeah.
One size fits all policy, zero tolerance policies.
Yeah.
That is just because we've stopped calling people the N-word does not mean that we have to now come up with all these long, complicated names. And also, just because some people have come up with all these really restrictive and cult-like things to stand up for the oppressed doesn't mean we should stop standing up for the oppressed.
Yeah.
It's
this whole thing with the political split really reminded me of, and I haven't even thought about this for a while, because America, sorry.
Well, they don't want us to think. They want us to be these they don't want us to have moderate, well, I agree with point A and point B, but I'm not sure about point C. Instead, what they want is large blocks of red and blue, red and blue and red and blue, shouting at each other in endless echo chambers.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just, well, so the thing that I remember that I saw that made me like, and this was years ago now, that I was just like, really? Like, this is what we're doing now? What? Was I believe it was Chris Evans, the actor, who was like, oh, I have a new political project, and it's like, I don't know if he actually did this. I think so, probably. I just don't know what it's called. But he created like some sort of website that was like, you could hear each representative say, like, what exactly is it they stand for? What is it they want? So then you can actually compare and understand, this is what this candidate says. This is what this one says. And people were very angry at him for that, because they're like, why the F are you giving voices to Republicans? And it's like, well, I mean, do you understand how democracy works though? Like, because this is actually the entire point of democracy. But yeah, I was like, this is scary.
I try not to equate one party with all evil and one party with all good, because that's black and white thinking. Like the whole thing with Afghanistan is a lot more complex than, did Trump do it? Did Biden do it? Well, it's the historical acts of both.
Yes.
That led to it. And both of them have some things to answer for. And both of them are just building on 150 years of complex, nuanced history.
Yes, and populations that are, each experiencing their own problems and seeing things from certain
so that you can't just say it was due to him here that's doing this. And that, though I will say it's very interesting, I just heard that a crowd in Alabama or somewhere down south booed Trump because he said, and it was his base, because he said, folks, get your vaccines.
Yeah, they're not happy with that.
Yeah.
I know. This is actually something that I disagree with Yuval about. Friend of the show.
And he's a brilliant fellow, but yeah, I disagree with him on some things. I disagree with John on some things.
Yeah, because he had a theory that because my whole thing is, the worship of celebrities in particular, and his theory is that if someone that you do feel that way towards would tell you to do something like, oh, I can't stop smoking, but now this person comes and is like, stop smoking, you'd be like, oh my God, like, just feel it as if it was, your priest or something. And I'm just like, I just feel like they would start thinking like, no, actually this person is acting this way because now it's a trick to see if I'm going to listen to that, when I think they would acrobat their way around it.
Yeah, I think we're very good at holding conflicting opinions.
Yeah.
Also, I will say that
but we haven't tested it out yet, so who knows
how well it would be totally unethical. A lot of the work that Yuval and others are doing, it would be totally unethical to laboratories.
Very hard. Yeah, it would be yeah, it's hard. It's one of those things.
I'm sorry, we're going to put you in a room and make you fall in love with this person. Yeah, right. Sorry.
Well, don't you remember when that was like the whole thing? They had the 42 questions that will make you fall in love with anyone. It was like a whole thing, yeah.
But will it? The thing is, because there's so much in here already, and the older you get, the more there is, so that it all depends on how fervently you hold your smoking versus how fervently you hold your idol.
And it's a great word there, fervently, and
fervent,
because that is exactly that's exactly what
so
what
that
the thing is about.
Our anti-vaxxers yelling at their presidential candidate is because their fervency and fear against all of the vaccine stuff that they feel.
Whatever it is has told them, or for some reason they know that this is dangerous.
And also, I said early on, one of the strengths of Trump for one of his powers is that he was able to convince his base that whatever they felt, he already agreed with them, because he'd learned early on, you don't give specifics, you only give generalities, and then allow your base to construct in their minds what they think you believe in.
Which is celebrity PR 101.
Because then a farmer will think that his candidate stands for farmers. A miner will think that his candidate stands for miners, even when they're at loggerheads. No, he's my guy, which is like our pony thing here. I feel that this has been written so well that an adult can enjoy it. I was not thinking, oh, what a babyish thing, I've seen babyish stuff, Teletubbies, Barney. These are things that no sane adult can watch. Or The Night Garden.
Yes.
But to be fair, The Night Garden's made for the that's made for infants.
Yeah. I mean, it is interesting too because Trolls is one that I've had to deal with. And it's like,
we all had to deal with trolls. No, you mean the show. I'm sorry. I had to. Bad spot. So I wanted to go just through the. So Fluttershy is the pony that is kindness, and she's the one who represents, I feel, the conventional rules of being friends, and also conventional politeness, and everybody be happy and everybody be nice. Then Twilight is the leader and the princess. So there is an oligarchy in My Little Pony, but is it an true oligarchy, or is it a meritocracy, or is it I don't know. Okay, Rarity sort of represents generosity. Oh, Twilight represents magic. So if this is a magical kingdom, so the magic users, are like in that stupid movie Dungeons and Dragons. The magic users are high class, and the rabble's down here. Rarity is the one that's modeled loosely on Scarlett O'Hara, according to the wiki here. And is dramatic and a fashion queen, so that when her cutie mark is removed, she can't tell whether the curtains are tacky or not. And then Applejack is honesty. So of course she's an American cowboy, because what's more honest than the Marlboro Man?
The southern, the country, what was it they called the countryisms? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even say any countryisms. I love that. I love that. Then Rainbow Dash, she represents loyalty. She's the one that, I guess, if you don't know My Little Pony, you've seen her. She's the purple one with the rainbow. And she's like the adventurous kind. She says, oh, good, this sounds like danger. I hope it's some monster behind the closet. Why do you hope it's a monster? Because that'd be so wonderful to fight against a monster.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And then Pinkie Pie. I think I like Pinkie Pie the most. She represents laughter, and apparently she's the one that follows cartoon logic the most.
Oh,
so she's a meta character in that she knows she's a cartoon character, and so she's got all the powers of a cartoon character. I haven't seen it yet, but I'd be willing to bet that she could run across a gap and not fall if she didn't look down. That she probably, because there was one point where they're sneaking up on the village and she was going, it was like she was teleporting, going whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. She was doing very cartoon things. Or then they're describing the map to one of the villagers, and she says, technically it was a tree well book map or something. It was, and then she speaks right at the camera and then goes with the little fiddle thing. I mean, it's
a little Easter egg, I think. Yeah, like a meta. Yeah, that's really good.
So they're offered the true friendship. Nobody felt true friendship until you give up your mark. You can't have true friendship. Each of us was confused, blinded by the false promise of our cutie marks. No one has ever wanted to leave, but that is entirely your choice. That's very culty. Oh, it's your choice.
But it's also like, oh, so you want, well, you're going to have to deal with the consequences of leaving, though.
Exactly.
Which is going to be, we're keeping the cutie mark, first of all.
Yeah, that is a way for an abusive person.
You're going to leave? That's going to be so disappointing for the other ones. Really? But we're having such a great time. I mean, you can if you want, but like.
It's your choice, but it's like in an abusive relationship. Well, you can go out with your friends. That's your choice, but you're going to have to deal with the consequences. That's your choice if you want, or it's your choice whether, or in the Scientology, they no longer use this movie because it features somebody who got out and is now Anderson. I forget his first name, but he was this announcer who was a really slick actor, announcer guy, and now he's out. But it was very, very infamous in a way, because at the end he said, you could walk out of here and never do anything to do with Scientology again. That is your choice.
Oh, yes.
You could also choose to jump off a bridge or blow your brains out or something.
What is it, like step on? There was something, you're completely right. And I remember being like, what?
You could choose to blow your brains out, I believe was the phrase.
It was just like something very strange.
Yeah, it was something because you could choose not to have anything to do with Scientology, or you're going to die.
Yeah. Well, even just like, I remember one that was a testimonial, obviously, and it was just some guy being like, I could feel all of my cells. And it's just like, but do you want that? I don't think I want that. You're telling me that you want to be feeling like all of my cells, I feel them. And it's like,
all your little body thetans.
I would like to no, I feel like that sounds unsettling. I
love my body thetans. This I know, for L. Ron Hubbard tells me so.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I love it.
Scientology. I know I keep bringing. It is the ultimate example. I mean, in reality, it's such a tiny little group. Less than 25K members now. That's tiny.
Yeah.
But lots of money, possibly more money than the Catholic Church. It's hard to tell.
For sure.
That's hard to tell. But it's got everything in it. It really does. It has got everything that any other cult or abusive relationship has done. And in spades, it is just like the textbook cult, or rather the textbook authoritarian high control group. Oi. So is there anything else we can wring out of this episode here? Oh, there is my favorite line, and it's not really culty, but it's so funny. Pinkie Pie says, there's something rotten in whatever the name of this village is that we're in right now.
Yes. What a great reference.
That is just a great line. That's when I realized that this is not just a kid's show. This is,
well, this is season 5. They knew by this point that
they knew, but these characters are, I feel like going back and watching the rest of the show. For those who want, this show is available on Netflix, and there's various clips on YouTube. And if you go to Fandom Wiki, and I'll leave a link in the description below, you can see the synopses and the notes and everything. And it's a little bit interesting because you can see the main 6 and a little thing of everyone. Interesting to know that Starlight Glimmer comes back. That's interesting because she did seem like a very, very complex character in her own right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it would be interesting.
Oh,
I mean, if you end up watching more, you're gonna have to tell me what the good songs are, basically.
Well, the No Pony Left.
Some of the songs were great.
The In Our Town. I'll see if I can find a link to it so that I can put it up in the description. It is a wonderful song. Other songwriters, please take note and tell me if I'm right about that. But Starlight Glimmer, when they come and they go, well, some of the ponies were curious about our cutie mites. Really? You inspire all sorts of free thinking.
It's a bad word in this town. Yeah.
That's a bad word because in sameness there is peace, and to excel is to fail.
Yes.
Yep. And freedom is slavery, war is peace, and
we have always been at war with
East Asia or Eurasia. Now, what was the third Orwellianism?
Freedom. Why can't I?
Freedom is slavery. Ignorance is strength. War is peace.
Yeah, there we go.
And when the government comes knocking for your buddy's tournament. But that does not negate the brilliance of his work, and also probably old, sick, tired Orwell was probably snapping under pressures that middle-aged Orwell would say that he would have never done.
Yeah.
And young Orwell would be shocked at. I mean, I can tell you, I was raised by the women who spell it WYMYN, or did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They are now a lot more conservative socially, as they're now into their 80s. They're in their 80s, their 70s. And sometimes I wish I could show them footage of what they were back when they were in their 40s, when they were young, angry women. Little 13-year-old me really took notes. And that's why I'm call it a social justice warrior. I don't think there's anything wrong with fighting for social justice, as long as you're polite. And I understand that some people went too far, and that's why why it's now a swear. But I want to point out that just because somebody's rude, pointing out a point, does not make the point wrong. Any case, I think we've rung everything.
We've really dug in deep, and this was about the episodes, not anything fandom-y, because it's not, that would be an entirely different
we could talk about the culture of bronies if we want, and see about that, because I don't know any bronies.
No, I don't know any either. I think it's difficult to be able to get a good assessment from the outside, I think, because fandom is so very insular, and I mean, I'm an exception, I've learned, but yeah, a lot of people are very private about it. They don't want to share, I don't want to talk about it.
I can understand, because it's a kid's show, but for God's sakes, after a while, kids shows can be very good. It's very interesting. It's good to pay attention to what we're telling our
Yeah,
children.
I mean, SpongeBob became huge because college kids were watching it, right?
Pee Wee Herman's
Mhm.
Playhouse was watched more by college students when I was in college than it was by. I will say, though, that for what this is teaching kids about we can be different and we should be different and sameness is not good,
Yeah.
it teaches some good lessons. It's not quite accurate.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but it's as accurate as it needs to be, I think.
I think so.
I think it is. So in any case, folks want to let us know, like, subscribe, do all the clicky bell things and the button things and all of that, and throw down some bucks if you want, so that me and then Stanley back here can, I'm looking at an opposite of myself and it's screwing me up. But me and Stanley back here can edit, and it keeps us an editing fluid.
Yeah.
And let us know what you want us to look at. As we've said before, we'll look at anything but Twilight.
I mean, we're obviously going far and wide. My little pony over here. Yeah, we're gonna be digging into some quite interesting intellectual properties. There we go.
IP.
That sounds enough.
Okay, well, this is Spike Robinson. This is.
Oh yeah.
And we're the Culty Geek.
Hi, John here. Thanks for watching. We'd appreciate it very much if you would click like, as well as subscribe, and click the bell for notifications. Every dollar helps, and we welcome new patrons on Patreon, or you can make a one-off payment with any currency through PayPal. Thanks so much.
No unpopular opinions for me today.
Oh, no unpopular opinions here.